What is going on, guys? It's me again, Manny at Manny Mods Garage, and today I am doing a video on Peanut. Yeah, again, I call her Peanut. And the reason why I call her Peanut is because she's a gigantic elephant. That's what I call this thing, the gray elephant, Peanut. Anyways, as you guys can see on the thumbnail, I got some wheels. I traded these wheels with someone else who really wanted the stock 18s, and I know you're gonna get a lot of criticism. Everybody likes this thin tire. Some people like this setup. I don't care. It's just my truck. This is my little project thing. This is basically my little back and forth Cummins tow truck, whatever. Anyways, tires are no good, obviously. And the back ones are even worse, so I basically rotated them. So what I'm gonna do is, now that it looks so goofy, see how small the wheels look? They're supposed to be 33s, and I just did the measurement. They're actually 31s. That's how small they are. With that being said, I have a lot of kids. So I'm going to be lowering the truck. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be going back to stock height. I'm gonna take off the 2.5-inch leveling kit in the front, and I'm going to do something that you guys are gonna talk so much crap about. But guess what? Again, you don't pay for my bills, and I don't care about what your opinion is, but I do appreciate you guys giving me that thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. So I'm going to be cutting the rear springs. If I don't like the way it works or handles, that's fine. I'll probably just reverse the whole thing that I did and buy a nicer leveling kit. Something that has to do with the springs and rear. Maybe a whole lift kit, who knows? These bad boys are from Coil Spring Specialty. But I'm just going, basically I'm testing the waters. Again, guys, you already know me for Manny Mods the Garage, Manny.Mopar, and you guys know me for having the HELLCAT. So, let's work on Peanut, and I'm going to take off the leveling kit and cut the rear springs. I'm trying to get a little more aggressive. I want it to look a little more street, a little more comfortable for the kids to hop up in and out, and we're gonna go from there. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna get some street tires for like highway use. Instead of the all-terrains, I'm gonna get me some regular, I think they're 305 45s is what I'm getting. So I'm just changing up the whole setup. I highway, I don't really go off-roading with this thing anyways. But again, if I don't like it, I'll switch it up. If you don't like it, let me know in the comments. I'm interested. I like seeing some of the stuff that you guys got to say. Okay, so here we go. I got the coil springs out. I'm about to take out this last leveling kit puck spacer thing. Basically elongates the whole suspension away from the frame of the body. I already got those little shock absorbers off, the sway bar link off, and that's basically it. So I just dropped it. Whole axle sitting on that jack stand. Truck is supported by those beautiful Daytona Harbor Freight jacks. Yeah, we should be okay. Other than that, I'm about to put the springs up and then basically do the rear. This is gonna be interesting. I can't wait. I don't know why, I really like to see how this truck looks lowered. So let's get to it. Okay, so here's a visual example of why I'm going to cut the rear springs, because that looks horrible. The rear is literally raked up like 2.5 inches. I can't wait to lower the back. So far, I've been driving on these tires I just got. I got these tires for basically a couple $100, and they drive literally like I'm driving a minivan. Super smooth, very, very quiet and chill. So very grateful. But man, that thing is super tall, really, really tall. All right, here we go. I got the wheels off. So now basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that bottom shock off, that shock bolt or whatever, and then take off the sway bar links completely on both sides. And honestly, I think usually it should fall out. The only thing I have to worry about is paying attention to those brake lines over there. The brake lines. But I'll let you know in a second how it goes, and then springs are down. We'll go from there. So basically you want to jack up the frame with the truck itself, and then you want to jack up the axle so that you have support. So you're ready to drop the whole axle down, and then that's pretty much it. Just disconnect the shocks from the bottom and then disconnect the sway bar links. It was pretty simple. If there's still a lot of tension, basically maneuver and mess around with it a little bit. Well, the jack itself, so you can take out the shock bolts pretty simple, pretty easy. You don't gotta disconnect the brake lines. There's tons of free play space. I'm about to start cutting these things, and we'll see what happens. So doing studies and figuring things out, these first 2 or 3 springs right here go like this. This spring right here has absolutely no function. It just basically, it's like a suppressor type of thing. And I'm pretty sure the engineers designed it a specific way, but you know what? I bought the truck and I'm gonna do whatever I want with it. And I already had a plan. So basically, if this doesn't work out and I don't like the way this is going, then I'm just gonna order the legitimate springs. But everybody that I talk to that does the reverse level and cuts their springs, it works out perfectly fine. I can't see the scrutiny. Oh my God, it's gonna be great. But guys, do me a favor. If you don't like what I'm doing, comment as much as you can, because the algorithm explodes when you guys do that. So just keep bringing me all the attention. Yes, spring, done. The nonsense springs are gone, and these are there. It's gonna get interesting now, because now these are probably gonna dangle up there. But everybody that I talk to tells me that you're not gonna have an issue. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out the hard way if it's bad or not. So I'm about to put everything back together. This literally only took me maybe 20 minutes to do. And I'm wasting my time talking to you guys on the channel. That's including the YouTube video. So I'm gonna put this back up there and we're gonna go from there. Okay, springs are in there. It's pretty easy. They're dangly. We're about to put everything back together. Hopefully it all works out. All right, we're gonna go check it out. Obviously, you saw me doing all this acrobatics. The reason why I kept going back and forth, up and down is because obviously when you cut the spring, it's gonna have some space. You wanna make sure it's seated properly. Now, I'll tell you one thing, you gotta bounce extremely hard, go midair for this thing to actually pop out of its place. Because I had to keep on jacking it up, as you can tell, in order to find that leverage to pop it into its pocket, because there's a little lump that's on the frame, and the spring pops in between there with the isolator on top of it. I'm gonna take it out, kind of test it out, and we'll go from there. All right. Okay, got the measuring tape. We're about to take it for a little quick test drive. Literally, I got to work. I got home at like 6:20. Checked on a few things, did a few things, and it took me less than an hour. We'll see if it was worth it. If not, whatever. Here's the final result, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it drives amazing. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Just like stock. Don't have any issues with my steering. I don't have any weird clunking noises or anything. No, the springs have not fell out. They won't fall out, actually. I've actually jacked the vehicle up all the way up. and it gets loose, but it doesn't really move from the perch. So when you drop it, it falls right back in place where it's supposed to be. And that's what the axle's completely elevated on each side, on both sides actually. But man, it's really nice. It looks really nice. We're gonna do a little check it right now. This is just about 10 inches off the fender, and if I'm not mistaken, the front is also almost 10 inches, 9 inches. So I don't mind the 1-inch rake because it's still tons of tension, and the springs are extremely strong. They're very, very heavy duty. So let's see what we got back here. 10 and 3/4. That side has been very difficult to lower. And then over here, we got 9 and some change. But overall, it's still very, very leveled in my opinion. Very smooth. I mean, you can kind of tell there's a little rake on the back. Very, very small. But it drives so super smooth, and that's what I was trying to achieve. Get that little lowered, tough bulldog stance. The one most of you guys hate, and half of you young people love this. And then, and that's about it. If I don't like it, I'll just switch it up. It's my toy, and we'll just go from there. All right, so that didn't really work out. We're gonna install these springs, so bear with me. Manny Mods Garage, out.